We started good. Okay, so what about men? By
Caitlin Moran. I almost forgot as well.
Moran.
Caitlin Moran, yeah. Moran.
Okay.
Huh?
All right. What do you think of the book?
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Terrible.
No, it wasn't
Hated
terrible.
It wasn't useless.
Terrible.
All right. Tell me one good piece of advice that you learned.
I didn't say there was any good advice in there. I just said it wasn't a bad book. So I mean that in terms of, first of all, I was entertained. At least it was entertaining. First of all.
So what you're saying is you couldn't tell me.
And it was ironic. It was ironic.
So wait. So what you're saying is there's no.
No, it wasn't helpful. I didn't say it was helpful.
There's only as I said, it was a pointless book. There's only one good piece of advice they told us in the book, and she shouldn't have said it because it's victim blaming. She said, "Men, don't sleep with damaged, crazy women."
Yeah,
that's what she
100%.
said, and that's victim blaming. It's like saying to a woman, "Don't go down a dark alley, or you're gonna get raped." So then they say that's victim blaming. So she done the same thing to us, but it's okay. So it was useless. But yeah, let's start. Let's go through it. You wanna go first? Or shall I go first?
Go on.
Caitlin says, for years, she's left men's health and well-being to other male figures, but men don't seem to be happier. Not only are these fleeting statements that she doesn't give us any idea how she came to that conclusion, but why is happiness always the end goal? Isn't it common knowledge that happiness is a temporary state? I've read my fair share of self-help philosophical books, and they always say the aim of life is to have an adventure. And on this journey, you'll find happiness, but you'll also find the other emotions too. So you'll find sadness, you lose people and whatnot. It'd be nice to have more happy moments than anything else, but that's not how life goes. You can't. There's nothing I don't think you can. You can't plan your life to be full of happy moments.
Happiness.
You buy a nice car, it breaks down, someone crashes into it. It is what it is. So people they're chasing this happiness. And
rich people still have problems. So we're all gonna have
more problems. They've got more problems.
Literally.
More money, more problems. That's how it goes, isn't it?
Literally, more money.
Yeah.
More problems. But yeah, 100%. But this is what I mean when I say what we recording.
Yeah.
This is what I mean when I say it wasn't a helpful book. I didn't find it helpful in the case of, oh my God, I'm now going to apply this to my life.
Useless.
I didn't find that helpful.
It was a waste of time.
I found a lot of it ironic in the same way that you found a lot of it ironic, because it's literally just like you're saying that we should not be doing these things, and you do them like 20 seconds later or sometimes in the same sentence. For example, there was a quote by the author in the prologue that interested me. The quote is, I've spent 10 years researching how shit things are for women. By comparison, the men are fine. Now, there's a contradiction of her saying men aren't her area of expertise, and then 20 seconds later, she says men are fine. Like, that was quick. How did you find that out? But what really interested me is this is the perception that a lot of men's rights activists have. Woe is me, women are fine. I've made myself somewhat aware of the discourse around these things over the years. One of the main similarities I found between men and women, we're all desperate to play the victim Olympics. Desperate. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. But yeah, one thing I've noticed is we all want to play the victim Olympics. Everyone's life is harder. Even when she was asking like the girls and the boys, straight away, there was even like, you've got it harder straight away, and we do that all through life.
So yeah, but isn't there some truth to it though?
I mean, they're not lying when they say. When they say, oh, being a woman's harder because, or being a man's harder because, they might have a very valid reason why they say that. But we're never going to know. There's no possible way for you to, like, contextualise the female, their reality, and vice versa.
I mean, we can try, though. But
we can try.
An actual fact, because you can never see what life is like from a woman. I mean, even if you transition. But then again, I mean, if you transitioned and
That's the closest you get.
It's the closest you get, but you looked like, I'm talking like Mbappe's wife. She sees life as a girl. Or he, or whatever, right? So yeah. But yeah, she goes on to say that there isn't any TV shows or books that talk about what being a man is, or how you shed your childlike boy skin to become a man. Not only is there lots of literature about how to be a good man, but there are good male role models, such as Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate. You saying he's a good role model, it grinds women's gears. They're like, oh, this sounds good, this misogynist. They just get angry. How dare you say that?
Misogynist has become one of those buzzwords that doesn't really mean anything. It's a stick
like
with which to
gender.
It's a stick with which to beat people over their head. Misogynist. Means be basically shut up. I put Caitlin Moran, our author, has a moment of self-reflection towards the end of the prologue where she wonders if she had done more harm than good by telling mothers of teenage boys that men's problems are their own problems. Which seemed fairly obvious to me. Like, when she was having a moment of reflection, I was like, did you think that was going to be a good idea?
Yeah,
Because she basically said, I was like, she seemed like she dropped a bomb at the time. But, yeah, so is this what's it got to do with me attitude proof that the goal of third wave feminism is just to promote further division amongst the sexes?
Of course it is.
Because their bottom line seems to be, you deal with your problem, for you your own, for me my own, basically.
And it doesn't seem like there's ever an end goal for feminism anyways.
Yeah, that's why first wave, second wave, third wave just comes in waves. I don't really necessarily... Well, the mission statement is like to promote equality amongst the sexes, yada yada. So that's what the mission statement is. If you Google feminism, it's probably what it'll say online. But no, I don't really know what the end goal is.
I said, wow, a feminist that agrees that it's easier to be a girl than it is to be a guy in this day and age. But in all fairness, I think that's a win for the feminists. Why wouldn't we want it to be easier for a girl or woman in this day and age? We just don't want it to be at the expense of the men.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's funny because I've fallen victim to being a man quite recently. I stopped speaking to this girl. I said, it's been nice knowing you. This is when we part ways. And clearly that woman couldn't handle rejection because she ran to the police and told them that I harassed her and stalked her. Do you think the police needed any evidence to act on that?
No, of course not.
Yeah. So, you know, it's funny because this is what happens in this day and age, you know. Women cry, what do they say? Cry wolf?
I don't know. I mean, cry wolf is definitely...
Yeah, they cry. Yeah, they cry and you know, it's... I think it's from Me Too or whatever. So yeah, police, what happened? I didn't know anything about this, you know. Driving my car, I'm seeing police behind me in undercover cars, and that's, you know, it's not unheard of. I change lane, they change lane. I take a left, they take a left, I'm like, alright, it's on. Then another police car pulls up like I get tea-packed.
Oh, okay.
Have I ever told you this story?
I don't think so.
This happened like 6, 7, 8 months ago. Tea-packed,
okay.
You know, 3 police cars, get out the car, cuffs, you know, listing a string of things that I've done. And they took my phone for 6 months.
Yeah.
I only just got it back. And I said to them, why do you need to take my phone? If there's evidence of stalking and harassment, it'd be on her phone. They was like, yeah, there's no evidence on her phone. We need your phone. But yeah, it's interesting how the way the world works now, you know, for women. 100%. They can call the police on you. They come kicking and screaming. They will arrest you. I mean, it's good in a way, but I mean, if there's no evidence at all whatsoever, why are they, the police is harassing me now.
Yeah, no, legally.
It's just crazy. No evidence. They're seizing your stuff. They're taking it. Arrested me. I was in a cell for like 10 hours. You know, I didn't do anything. But yeah. But to finish off my rant, Caitlin says, if I go on Twitter or X and type, I'm proud to be a woman, the support that I would get would be dancing emojis, you go girl. But if a man were to say, I'm proud to be a man, do you think he'd get the same support? Of course not.
Of course not. People would look at you side-eye.
What are you trying to say? What are you
proud of
chauvinist?
That's what I'm saying.
Male chauvinist. That's what
we're not supposed to be proud to say that.
Yeah, which is a good point that she made.
Yeah,
she made a good point.
We're supposed to be ashamed.
But again, you know, that's not helpful. Like, unless she's trying to change the world with this book, which is not the case.
Well, and it won't, even if that was her plan.
Yeah, it's you know, she actually said she was trying to write this book because women kept asking her, what about men? And what advice have you given? Like,
she didn't really give any advice. It seemed like she was going to. Earlier in the book, it seemed like she was leading up to.
She's going to talk. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Let's keep going.
Interesting question. Why is it boys tend to be so interested in fighting, and who would beat who in a fight? I vaguely remember, like, as being younger, just being in a fight was all that mattered. Literally. As males, we're evolutionarily predisposed to be more prone to physical violence for more reasons than one. The main reason, obviously, so you can protect yourself, protect your family. Another reason is being physically capable of violence, not necessarily being violent, but being physically capable of violence plays an advantage in the mind of a woman when she's considering a mate. As a youth, this manifests as a desire to be physically proficient. So before we could use money, women and cars to keep score, basically it was who's the strongest, who's the tallest, who's the fastest. That's essentially what it is. All parameters of physical proficiency. But yeah, do you ever remember that, like being young, getting into fights or like
Well, I think
fighting being used as currency.
I think I want to. This is what I'm saying. Caitlyn keeps saying stuff like this. Men want to fight, and that's what growing up is for guys. But I think that's kind of a stereotype. I don't think it is like that for every guy anyway. And she was talking. It's funny because she was talking about how it's harder for guys in this day and age, but she keeps asking her 4 male friends that grew up in her day.
Yeah.
Which didn't make any sense to me either. She wouldn't you want to ask young people?
Yeah. I mean, she
she
was on the Zoom call, wasn't it? In the beginning.
Yeah.
She said there, the Zoom call.
But yeah, it is funny that living life as a woman is completely different to living life as a guy. And I realised this about 8 years ago when I was walking down the road with a girl. We decided we needed to jump on the bus, and the bus in question was already at the bus stop, about 50 metres away. And I said, oh shit, we need to run. And she looked at me and said, why? And I looked at her like she was stupid.
Like alien.
But then after the events that played out, I realised I was the stupid one. Because what she did was, she went like this. The bus was all the way down there, you know, and she went, and she walked slowly. And I'm thinking, you're not going to get on this bus. So I'm walking with her, and the bus waited. The bus driver waited.
Crazy.
And she said, thank you, and gone. For us,
oh my days, they will look at your
you're
eyes
running,
and close the
you're
door.
running down the road,
Literally
looking for the bus, trying to get the bus, and they will close the door and drive off.
They will wait for you to get it. Close. Listen,
maybe it's black people problem.
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's black man problem. To be fair, but you know, Morley's in Brixton department store.
Yeah.
I left Morley's one time and I was trying to catch the bus towards Campbell, so 45, 345. Well, 345 doesn't come from there, but 45 basically. The 35 was there, and then literally the guy, we locked eyes. He saw me come towards him, he locked eyes, closed the door. Literally started driving off. I said, cool. Bombed it across the road, down past Iceland, past Sainsbury's, literally past Argos, all the way down, cut across where the police station is, caught it. I was like, thanks for waiting, cunt. Thanks for waiting. And literally everyone in the bus just started clapping. They saw me. They saw me literally bombing down Brixton High Street. And
I haven't had a standing ovation.
Yeah,
I've had people say well done when I've caught a bus.
Yeah,
I had no right to catch.
I had zero right to catch that bus, but literally, thanks for waiting, mate. You knock on.
But also another. See, my girlfriend, right? I was walking. She told me. She said, living life as a boy is different. I've experienced it, right? She said, when I wear a tracksuit, you know, hood up, no one can see that I'm a girl, no one stops for me. You know, like, I'll be crossing the road, no one stops me. But when I'm wearing leggings or girl clothes, everyone's stopping. So that's like, that was like her taking off the rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah, definitely.
To see what it is for a guy. Look, we don't want people, we're not saying, we want everyone to stop crossing the road or whatever, but that's just one example that she noticed. So there is genuinely a difference to grow living life as a guy and living life as a girl. But Caitlyn makes some good deductions. She notices that every man in the world wants to be funny. We all want to make other men, and especially women, laugh. She says people think being alpha is like Andrew Tate, having cars and money. But what it really is humour. Humour makes you alpha. And she's really onto something. Well, she would be if she wasn't concentrating on trying to shit on Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate says himself, my haters say women only like me for my money and cars. Well, if you take that away, what am I? He says, well, I'm a 4-time kickboxing world champion. I'm a sexy 6'4" caramel muscly. I'm smarter than you and I'm funnier than you. And there isn't a woman alive that would take you over me because I'm better than you. And it's funny because he's right. You know, well, he's right about the last bit, you know.
Tony Stark, way.
Being an alpha is somebody who's respected. We respect competence, not just simply humour. We have a name for people who are experts in humour, and we call them clowns. So, teaching guys to chase humour, to be alphas, is not only wrong, it's harmful too. The reason why we have influencers doing dumb shit for attention is because people want to be clowns. It's funny, when a woman respects you, she laughs at your jokes regardless of how shit it is. I've made some terrible jokes, and my girlfriend laughs regardless. It's like flirting for women. They hee when they like you, and it's probably the reason why I think I'm funny now. But yeah, you know them ones when your girl's laughing too hard at somebody else's jokes, and I'm like, All right, pack it in, Joseph. Isn't that funny? But yeah, it would have been good for her to attempt to cross-reference Andrew Tate and then analyse him. We all know he's a big figure for men, so it would have been good for us to give her honest opinion as an established author, especially for the mothers, or the single parents, or whoever, everybody, really.
Yeah. 100%. But again, it wasn't really a very helpful book, to be fair. It was mainly a views piece where it was just like what she thinks about what she's heard about men.
It was just useless.
It should be called What I Thought About What I Heard About Men. Yeah. It should be called, rather than What About Men.
Yeah, exactly that.
Not even what I think about, what I thought about what I heard about men.
Yeah.
One time in a pub from some guy.
Yeah, some guys.
These guys that I used to know.
I read some articles.
Literally, I read some articles.
I didn't do my own research or anything like that.
Yeah, literally. I watched Star Wars and I watched Terminator and all these movies that she kept quoting, and I was like, this is very patronising, isn't it?
It's funny like, because I read a review and they were like, she kept making jokes about Luke Skywalker and his father and whatnot, and they were like, well, you didn't watch Star Wars properly if you think that's what it's about.
Not only that, that's not
about
even,
father.
That's not even what I was talking about. Yeah, that as well, but it's not even what I was talking about. It's like, first of all, imagine if you was like, you was generalising women and you was like, oh yeah, they watch Bridget Jones or something like that. Literally, that would not be okay. Yeah. But for some reason, you're allowed to generalise. Not every man watches Star Wars, like.
Yeah.
Some have not seen it. Or making Jeremy Clarkson jokes.
And it wasn't, Star Wars is unisex anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, literally. Yeah, literally.
Was it women are only allowed to play with Barbies and watch Barbies? That's what she's basically saying, you know? That's actually what she's saying.
Maybe she's saying that. I put, why does being funny work so well with women? Girls love a guy who's funny even if he's not the best looking. Is it because funny people are charming and always show you a good time? Being funny isn't a trait men typically look for in women, which I find interesting. Like, men aren't really
looking
interested.
for a long time. Oh gosh.
But yeah, no, genuinely don't care. If a woman's not funny, wouldn't bother most men.
Yeah.
In fact, most men are happy to sacrifice personality entirely as long as a woman's got the right attributes. I can only suppose. I can only suppose that a lot of people, a lot of women, attribute love with certain feelings, and a guy who can make you laugh puts you in touch with those feelings, which is kind of why they feel like, yes, ideal man should be funny. At least.
I don't know. But maybe, I mean, look, TV was only invented 100 years ago. I don't know. I think is it 160
let's
years
say
ago?
it's like, let's say it is. In fact, do you know what?
Don't Google it. No, don't Google it. But yeah, no. So yeah, TV was only. It's not that deep. But yeah, TV was only invented 100 odd years ago. So you know, women had to do something. So you know, they wait to be entertained somehow. So maybe it could be deep rooted into our DNA or women's DNA to want to be entertained. You know, because you know. There wasn't anything before, you know.
That's true.
There's been thousands of years gone by.
Even the pharaohs or whatever, like while they was conquering, what was their wife doing? Like just being entertained by like the jesters or whatever. I don't know what they did in those times.
But yeah, I'm trying to figure out who this book is for because it's starting to feel like Caitlin is missing the mark. She says life's harder for men, but then proceeds to talk about guys. Proceed to talk about guys getting into more fights. They're more aggressive with each other. They can't talk about their feelings. This isn't anything new. I thought we were going to be navigating the newest found social media problems about what being a man is and navigating relationships as a man, parenting and any other useful things, all from the perspective as a woman. But at the moment, I have no idea where she's going with this, and it seems like she's informing women on what she thinks growing up as a boy is. That's not helpful.
That's not helpful to anybody for anything. Nobody can use that for anything.
A very interesting fact that I learned though from the book is 90% of women who've had a baby in the last 20 years will start describing the pain of their childbirth within 7 minutes of talking to each other.
Yeah, nah.
I
was thinking, is that actually true?
I mean, it must be.
It must be.
It must be. Otherwise she wouldn't say it. But, you know, that's interesting because women try to say, oh yeah, I'm a career woman. But for some reason, that's the first thing you talk about. Or sorry, within 7 minutes, that's what you talk about. Which is interesting because it must be the most important thing in your life or that you could ever do. That's why you speak about it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Go on.
I put the author makes an I was interesting what he said. An interesting point with this description of masculinity as a pseudo-independence, appearing masculine by hiding sensitivities and relational desires. So I was like, okay, I understand the definition at least. I understand where she's going with this. Having said that,
Yeah, but isn't it true?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I understand the definition, and it definitely has applications. Having said that, I disagree when she says nobody is taught how to be a boy or a man. I think boys are raised with a certain kind of callousness, and then when we reach a certain age, we are prepared to do the jobs that nobody else wants to do, basically. Because a lot of men basically not cope, but make life and work their personality, or make life and work just what they do, as opposed to...
It's like women make being a mother their personality.
Well, this is what I said. I said men typically we invest in our wallets, women invest in themselves. That is typically what we do. What we do serves the wallet, put money in the wallet.
Yeah.
Which is one reason why we make more money on average, to be fair. Because, if you've been raised to invest your energy in yourself, you might not want to work in sewers or coal mines or on scaffolding or on oil rigs. You might not want to do 16 to 18 hours a day of physical labour, but these jobs still need to be done. As men, we don't invest in ourselves, we typically invest in our wallets, which is why we make more money. We work in harsher conditions, we do more hours, and apparently we less inclined to take days off due to sick or injury.
Yeah.
When was the last time you called it sick or what?
I don't think... At least 4 or 5 years.
Yes,
What, you think I was going to say that?
I don't know what he was going to say, to be fair. Yeah,
At least 4 years.
Because look, some people wake up hungover. I'm sure everyone's done it. And you just think, I can't bother to go to work. Obviously, I know you work in the morning.
I got super ill. I think I had COVID. I went in. They sent me home. I said, no. I'm not going home.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, no, that's genuinely, I think, even she was talking about it, the only time men go to therapy or to the doctor, apparently their wife had to nag them into doing it. Yeah. So it's like when we're not raised to invest in ourselves at all, whatsoever. If we're uncomfortable at work, we'll be uncomfortable at work. If people on scaffolding wearing t-shirts or whatever, that cannot be, it's not warm up there. Yeah. So...
I'm more and more convinced that this woman has missed the mark. Why is she waffling on about men's fashion, gym, and wearing
that
suits?
What
was that about?
Nah, that part, that was like, such a unimportant... There were other sections, there was like importance to it in terms of, I don't know if there was any helpful things written in there, but like the topics, what the topics would be. But the whole topic about gym, especially the suit part, I can kind of understand.
She was talking about, what did she say? Something about her husband wears this shirt with a hole in it because it helps him run faster or so.
And like when they're at the gym together, she feels bad because he's wearing a shirt with a hole in it.
What has that got to do with anything? Why do you think we care?
Nothing. None of that was going through his mind.
Why do you think we care?
At the gym. When he was at the gym wearing his shirt with his hole in it, none of this was going through his mind.
I haven't finished. I said there's some good humour though. She said the first time she wanked a guy off, she didn't know that after orgasms, the penis immediately gets sensitive and wants to be left alone so it can think about what it's done.
Yeah, that made me laugh.
Yeah, I laughed at that part. But yeah, it's weird though. We don't care.
Yeah.
Even though it was funny. Go
on. The deeper you look into the differences between men and women, the more one should come to realise that we complement one another, which, to be fair, should be common knowledge. We don't really talk about it anymore today. I don't know why. For some reason, people like to look at the situation as men are lacking something or women are lacking something. Perhaps this deficiency is a manifestation of our necessity for each other. Perhaps the dismantling of a nuclear family in exchange for single-parent households is counterintuitive.
I don't need no woman. It's weird to say that, isn't it?
It's weird when
women say, I don't need no man. They're like, you go, girl.
Yeah, exactly, independent.
It's like, weird.
It's the same thing, just repackaged, and it gets different results.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, it makes sense. Humans cannot create humans all on our own, so why would we be able to successfully raise humans all on our own? But yeah, definitely. This is why I say the Victim Olympics thing, gender war, it doesn't really get anyone anywhere. Because if you're on the same team, can only be win-win. Can't really be lose. Well, there could be lose-lose, but there can't be win-lose.
She has raised some good points. That body shaming is off the table for women, but men seem to be fair game. Small penis and height is no issue for women to talk about, and they're encouraged to slate men by other women, which is obviously another double standard. We can't call women fat. That's
even if they are. Even if they are. And here's the funny
thing: that's the
reason
reason why you would call women fat.
You could lose weight. You cannot gain height. What your height you get is what you get. That's it. So there's no more.
I think body shaming should just be on for everybody.
I mean, listen, I want it to be... I don't care what rules we play by. As long as we play by the same ones. You know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, if everything's on the table, I'll be fine.
Yeah, because sticks and stones, man.
Sticks and stones,
I don't care about what you have
genuinely
to say.
don't care. At the end of the day, it's like when you're at the gym. I was talking to this guy the other day, and he was like, when he's at the gym, he likes to go off-peak hours because he feels like people are judging him when they can see him, or if he's like not using the machine correctly or whatever. You feel people are judging him, and I'll be like, "This is what you're here for." If I'm at the gym, someone calls me weak, I'll be like, what do you think I'm doing here? Be in the gym.
Exactly.
If you're fat
funny.
and someone's like, "You're fat," I'm in the gym.
It's funny though. I look at fat people in the gym. I'm like, you don't stand a chance.
I look at them and I literally think, well, you've taken first.
Yeah, you're taking first step, but I know how difficult it is. Like because I go gym every day. And I look at my progress and I'm like, you know, and I've been going for a long time and it's difficult and it ain't easy. I'm lifting heavier, whatever. Right?
Sorry, go on.
And yeah, I'm looking at you fat people. I'm like, well, good luck, buddy. But you know, but one thing I always do judge is when I see fat people eating. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. I'm like, it just looks bad.
Who knew this is the cause of all your problems right here?
No, but they might have dropped down to 1 meal a day, 1 meal every 2 days. But if I don't know, but just looking at them eating a burger, it's just like, you fucking idiot. That's what it feels.
And that's what I kept digging. I was at the gym and I saw this fat guy and he had literally the darkest ring of sweat around his t-shirt because he was on the cycling machine. And I was just watching him and I was literally just thinking, it's uphill battle.
Yeah, no, it's
uphill for a while.
You should have started earlier.
Yeah, no,
but yeah, no, it is so difficult. I mean, even doing cardio for me, I'm not fat. Obviously, I'm not perfect, whatnot. I do need to lose some weight, but you know, it's hard. It's hard.
Cardio is one of the hardest things.
It's hard to keep it up. But yeah, is it your turn or my turn? You go.
That's your turn.
You go.
Alright.
Well, I can go.
There have been numerous studies that indicate women are more emotionally intelligent than men, and also studies showing that girls do better in school. They go to college more frequently, they mature faster, and excel academically when segregated, as opposed to boys who do not improve or regress in the same circumstances. So why do men do better in life? Is it a case of it's better to be strong and smart? Or is it because women tend to be their own worst enemy? It's very typical of women to distrust or dislike one another based on basically how they feel. I've heard lots of women say they prefer to hang out with guys. I've never heard men say the opposite. I've heard loads of women say it's less drama apparently. I don't know how true this is.
But where'd you get this that men do better than women?
No, women do better.
No, but you said, well, why do, if women...
Yeah, that's why I put it in quotation marks, because men are seen to be winning, I guess.
Mm. But I think it's kind of common knowledge that women want to have children. Most women want to have children. So
we're supposed to want to have children.
So what I'm saying is they take a career break, whereas men don't. So
yeah, that as well.
So yeah, that's
and it's like maternity leave. It's like straight 9 months. Apparently, you get paid.
No, you can take 2 years. You can take 2 years.
Oh, is it?
But why do we have another chapter on bulls? After a 30-minute monologue about how cool bulls are, she then proceeds to tell us that she had a conversation with her husband's bulls one afternoon, and when she spoke to them in a loving manner, they relaxed, and when she shouted at them, they contracted and got tense. Even if that is true, how the hell is that supposed to be of any use to anybody? She said herself that mothers would ask her advice on how to navigate life as a mother bringing up sons. Is this the best advice she's got?
Talking to bulls, you know? Is that what she's going to tell them to do?
I would have stopped listening by now if it was up to me. And let's just be clear, I did not pick this book. You know what? I actually went on to our last video and I should have recorded where you said, oh, we do have a book. I said, oh, we ain't got a book for next week. We don't have a book for next week. But yeah, you said, oh yeah, we do have a book for next week. What men want? Oh, that's not what it's called. But yeah,
it's
that's not what it's called. But yeah.
That's the movie with Mel Gibson.
That's what women want.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah,
but okay, back onto a decent topic. Porn. Fast forward. No, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, I meant a good topic to speak about men. But yeah. Fast forward 20 minutes and she said nothing of any use. In the whole thing about porn, she said nothing of any use. She didn't state avoid it at all costs. It's not good for you. She just said be careful. It can be addictive. Go. Enjoy.
Literally. Here, have these cigarettes back.
Like, she didn't talk about studies on mental health and all the depressed people.
Dopamine receptors.
Oh, yeah. All the depressed people watch the most amount of porn. What is that? What is that?
I don't even know what she was actually talking about.
She basically, one of the young guys was saying, oh, he was addicted to porn. And not because he couldn't put it down. It was, he started watching darker and darker stuff to get himself off and this, that, the other. And alright, cool, but give us some advice. Yeah, they just said, oh, there's bad things out there, be careful.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of... It wasn't... Like I said, there wasn't anything helpful written inside the book. It was just insightful to see.
It was not insight. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of time.
I put bringing up Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone is interesting. We always talk about the unrealistic body standards on women due to the toys they have, Barbie, etc., and the TV shows that they watch, but we hardly speak about a similar effect on men. Not just He-Man and Action Man, although those were like the two big ones, to be fair. He-Man and Action Man, even the names. But almost every single Marvel superhero when I was growing up was ripped. Every single one. Like if you watch the comics or like you watch the animated TV shows or whatever, every single one of them had a six-pack. Yeah. All the Marvel heroes, everyone, Batman,
that's the same
everyone.
For the women, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But we only talk about one side of the unrealistic body standard thing. But even Silver Surfer had a six-pack. He was literally metal. This guy still had a six-pack. But there's endless pressure on both sexes to appear flawless. But this is where the stoicism of man gives us an advantage. Women are meant to be happy in all shapes and forms, but only men who are useful are meant to be happy. This is why the saying is happy wife, happy life, but not happy spouse, happy house. A lot of men don't think much of it when they're unhappy because it's all according to plan.
It's what the actual 2023 saying is: happy king, happy kingdom.
Hey, I'm ready to embrace that one. I'm ready to embrace it.
Incels.
Oh, here we go.
She makes a deduction about incels. If anybody doesn't know, incels are involuntary celibates. She says that it's not that they aren't having sex, that's not the problem. It's the fact that they don't know how to talk about their feelings to other men. So it means they have to find a woman to express their feelings to, and when they can't, because no woman is interested in them, they become angry at the world. As I know this makes sense to her, in her head, but this doesn't make any sense. You're telling me all of these incels don't have a single woman in their life to talk to. And that's the issue. No mother, no sister, no auntie, no female cousin, no female friend. If it was really about talking about feelings, then shouldn't she be prescribing therapy? It's not an issue that will be solved by talking to women or anybody. These incels have nothing to do. They have no purpose, and it drives them insane, so they rant about their problems. How would talking to a woman make any difference? Men find purpose in their women and children, just like women find purpose in their children. It's simply far easier for a woman to find a man than it is for a man to find a woman. So yeah, she's trying to make some deduction about incels. They're all unhappy because they haven't got a woman to talk to. It's like, come on, mate. Come on. No. They're unhappy because they ain't got purpose, because they can't get any woman. That's what it is. But yeah, it's... Either way.
To be fair, even the incel thing, like on Twitter, people laugh at incels, haha, incel. It's really like basically just calling people virgins or that. It's essentially what you're doing, and it puts the only value men can have as someone that gets loads of women, which is the exact opposite of what they're supposed to be, or they say that they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's like it's subliminally understood by like both men and women. A valuable man is one that gets loads of women, which is straight away why if they want to insult you, they call you a virgin. It's the worst thing that they could think of that you could be.
You can't get women. It's not just virgins, but maybe they might not be virgins. But
other women, what do they call each other? Hoe. Straight away. They understand it's the worst thing that you could be. The worst thing I could think of to call another woman is a hoe. Straight away.
Yeah.
So even though they say...
that is actually very true. Like, it's a diss for them to call you
legit
or an incel. Oh, you obviously don't get anything.
Literally,
so that means,
first thing, you haven't got no woman in. Is that value? Is that...
So clearly the valuable men are the ones that get all the women.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's subliminally understood by both men and women.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It is literally understood by both, and it's like people say that they don't believe in this currency or this value system, but everyone believes it.
I've got about 5 points left.
I've got about the same.
Okay, so I'll go then.
Go on.
So is this book for men or women? She starts taking the piss out of pickup artists. Those are people that actually help men, give them advice, and help them feel more confident. I don't think there's been a single good piece of advice in this book. Why was she slating the pickup artists? She was taking a mick out of them. Oh, if you, I don't know what she was saying, but she was literally just slating them. Oh, if you wear this, I can't remember what she was saying. Oh, show them a magic trick. Yeah, no, that maybe she was like, oh, I wouldn't like to be shown a magic trick. Maybe I'll be thinking about booking you for my 5-year-old birthday party or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, what's wrong with pickup artists?
Personally, I just don't feel like women have any of much respect for the ability that it takes, or like the charisma, or
the effort,
the stuff the effort, and the stuff that you have to have to be able to successfully get women, especially if you
Riz.
just approach them on Riz. Exactly. Because they don't ever have to use it, ever.
Yeah.
We must make it look easy, I
But
suppose.
I don't see the problem with men capitalizing on other men not being able how to talk to women and teaching them how to be more confident, having a script, you know, because it's not easy thinking on your feet and just, you know, saying a combination of words to get you in the door. So what's the problem with that?
100%.
At least if you had given some form of advice and say, oh, don't go pick up on this, just you know, I don't know, she could have said something.
Yeah,
She just said, oh, don't.
Yeah, literally just criticising, just problems, no solutions.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh yeah, for the amount women are lectured about body positivity and body shaming, it takes but the gentlest of pushes and a few shots of tequila rosé for women to readily stoop to our level, and beyond further depths as well. They'll tell you have a small dick. If you spend too much time with your friends, they'll call you gay, they'll call you broke, they'll insult your hairline, they'll pull out every single trick in the book. Yeah. Every single trick in the book.
Yeah.
Just because hell hath no fury, like a woman scored.
Next, she slates Jordan Peterson, which is another male figure that does good work in the area of men's mental health. Why can't she be objective and talk about what she believes to be the good and the bad? Oh, next, Andrew Tate proclaimed he's a misogynist. Don't make claims like that without explaining why. You know, I actually belly laughed when apparently teachers complained and felt intimidated when all the male children were doing the power pose in the class. So Andrew Tate does this power pose, and it's not his, you know, it's something
it's been about.
But he uses it, and you know, the children or the young men that follow him, they all decided to just do it in class, looking at the teacher.
Like it was intimidating.
I think it was intimidating. That's hilarious. Imagine being intimidated by
12-year-olds
doing some silly little hand sign. Like, who cares? Oh my gosh. But it is funny because I didn't know I understand that he's massively famous. I understand that he was the most Googled man, but I didn't know that he was having such an effect in school life. Yeah. I know that people were talking about him in schools and the media and whatever, but you know, he's got so much control. God forbid he said something harmful. You know, men would, you know.
Basically, what he did was his clips from like his YouTube streams or whatever. Yeah. He had like a bunch of TikTok accounts, a bunch of clips, and just flooded TikTok with just clips. So it was just everywhere. It was everywhere, and that was really how to grow in that, especially in that time as well. Because TikTok, well, it wasn't new, but it was like trending. Yeah. Like past COVID, when people started doing them indoor TikTok videos, because everyone was stuck at home, that's when it kind of blew up, and that's around the time he was doing it. Caitlin Moran advises men not to have sex with crazy women in order to avoid being on the business end of a false rape allegation. But in the same breath, she also says that women cannot possibly be expected to know the safe men from the dangerous men. So I said, so we're both in the same boat, aren't we?
Exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean?
I've lost all respect for Caitlin. The Andrew Tate thing is the last straw. Some of the other topics I don't know that much about. But with Andrew Tate, it's clear she didn't do any of her own research. And it's funny. Well, yeah, she read one news article from the BBC about him saying he's going to machete a girl in her face. And what he actually said... But this is why I know she didn't watch the clip. She didn't do her own research. She read an article that said that he did it. Because if you watch the actual clip, it's very clear. What happens is Andrew Tate's doing an interview. He's talking to another influencer, and Andrew Tate says, "Oh, I sleep with a machete, you know, underneath my pillow. You know, I've got people after me, right?" And someone said to him, "What if your girl catches you cheating on you, and she takes the machete?" And he basically said, "There isn't a woman alive that could take me out." In combat, I'm a 4-time world champion kickboxer. So he'd slap the machete out of her hand. I think he said he'd slap her in her face and grab her up. And I mean, if she's attacking with a machete, it's self-defense anyway, right? So, you know, it's clear she didn't do her own research. So, you know, how can you go and write a book without doing your own research? You're literally talking out your ass. You're literally... And it's funny because she accused Jordan Peterson of basically plagiarism in his books. Yeah. And she done the exact same thing.
Literally. Yeah, shocking.
It's terrible.
That was shocking. Yeah, I've got Jordan B. Peterson. We've read through over 5 hours of content, so through a lot of it, Caitlin Moran has told us how abhorrent and bad it is that men feel as though we can't show our vulnerable sides and that we can't cry. That was a message for large portions of this book. Despite this, as soon as she sees Jordan Peterson cry online, the tone of voice she uses implies that her initial reaction was disgust.
Of course it was.
Straight away.
She tried to fix it. And say,
Exactly. But it's not as if men can't cry. You've already played your hand here. And this just goes back to what I was saying about there's some things that people say and there's some things that people understand are understood in life.
Yeah.
There's things that are understood in life. Like, when women say they wait to show your vulnerable side, they mean once. And then after that, go back to how you was before. Because I promise you, they will take a toxically masculine guy over a toxically feminine guy every single day of the week. Because at the end of the day, this is a man. They don't want to feel like that.
God forbid you come home crying. Oh, I just had a hard day at work.
Yeah,
they're gonna be like, looking at you like,
they want to see it once, and then after that, they want to know that you. They want to know that you have tears in you.
Yeah, they just want to see it. They just want to see it.
They know that you got tears.
Can you imagine when Kayla said she wants to see me cry? She said, I want to see you cry. I said, take that back. Are you crazy? My family members could die tomorrow. You're calling that on me. Take that back. But how can you say, somebody that you love and care about, how can you say, I want to see you cry? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense, to be fair. But
surely
you could be crying with joy. You could be crying with joy, for example.
Yeah, I don't think she meant that.
Yeah, but if you pay attention to what people do, rather than what people say, you'll notice that abusers and cheaters and gaslighters are all very, very successful with women. And guys who are in touch with their femininity are not. There's a reason for that. Who knows who they are?
Yeah, maybe they're okay.
Almost every woman I know has a story about some guy who treated them horribly or cheated on them or did this and did that. But the reality is, there's a reason they all have a story. They literally all have one.
They don't have a story about a guy who was super feminine and
and
caring.
100%.
Because she'd be married to him if that's what she wanted. Anyway.
Legit.
Wow, she made a very, very good philosophical point. She says, the reason why so many young people are attracted to Andrew Tate's views is because we, as men, have been indoctrinated by superheroes, comics, and movies. All young men in comics are superhuman and they get a hero's calling by some revelation, whether that be another man or a higher being. She says, Andrew Tate is our real life revelation that will lead us to our purpose. So, I don't even know, I can't even bring up a superhero, but they start off being normal, but then somehow, these superheroes...
The hero's journey.
The hero's journey, become being powerful or whatever. And because we read that, it's like it switches something on in our brain. So when we see a revelation, we're all drawn to it.
100%, like the Matrix.
Yeah, and it was definitely a very, very powerful deduction, because it is a mystery to scientists why he is so monumentally popular. Then so many guys agree with what he says. Because he could be big and famous, but 99.9% of guys believe what he has to say. They agree and they believe.
Well, yeah, and it's the thing where I said, even if you don't agree with every single thing that he said, which is normal, because when do you ever agree with everybody on 100% of everything?
I don't even agree with myself.
Legit, you don't even, literally, nobody agrees with anybody over
100%.
every single little thing. But it's the same thing with J.K. Rowling, to be fair. J.K. Rowling, it's like, nobody is going to agree with you on every single thing, but the thing is, because of the things that she says, her perception of media is just 100% wrong. As soon as you bring up her name, you're cancelled straight away.
You got a lot? Have you got, how many you got left?
I've literally got 2 left.
I've got one more, so you can go and then I'll go.
It's very funny that men are looked at as these emotionally inept creatures that only have sufficient mental faculties to care about trucks, dinosaurs, and smashing things. Almost as if we are to Neanderthals as women are to Homo sapien. That seemed like what she was trying to say. Seemed like the subtext of, like, here I have arrived, like, the emotionally intelligent one, to teach you how to fix your lives. It's basically...
Well, it's funny you say that, because I read a book about Neanderthals, and they're not any dumber than us. They're just as smart and intelligent as we were, that's what they say. But we think Neanderthals are dumb.
First of all, okay, I know it's not that I don't believe you, but how could we possibly know that?
So basically, they look at the things that they found in the burial sites of the Neanderthals. So in Neanderthal burial sites, they see, like, trinkets buried on top of bodies and stuff like that. So it shows like a social dynamic. It shows that there's significance in between people. It shows that they've actually been buried So and they shows
Buried
like
as a ritual.
buried as a ritual, where they find like animal bones scattered around it. And they assume with gnawed teeth marks on it. So they assume there was some form of feast around the burial and the funeral.
Yeah,
so,
that means community.
Yeah, so so that's how they've kind of pieced it together from.
But that shows that Neanderthals are at a certain level of intelligence. Doesn't mean Homo sapiens are not higher. What makes them think Homo sapiens not really it's negligibly
because
higher,
they're looking at this, they see the same thing that the Homo sapiens sites around the same time. So we could say now we're more intelligent than Neanderthals,
obviously.
but Neanderthals didn't have the longevity that we had. So we're talking about, so if they had, then maybe they could be as smart, but they're just talking about that time frame. They weren't any dumber than us.
Fair enough.
So yeah.
Why do you think that got lost in translation? Because Neanderthal is like a...
Oh, because these are new. No, because these are new. They're new findings. They're new findings. They find new things out every day, every week or whatever. So it's just a misconception, you know. But yeah, this woman's actually crazy. She has now resorted to comparing men to dogs. In the end, she literally said, "Oh, loyal, strong, like a dog." Can you imagine the outrage if the same had been done to women? She said men are accepting, loyal and hardworking. Like a dog.
Legit.
I said, this book is rubbish. This is women for you. She doesn't want to be held accountable for her words, so she basically says that no traits are inherently male or female. It's not any...
Her conclusion to the book was, we found out nothing.
Yeah. There's nothing inherent with sexes in nature. So that means she can't have any opinions or anything on anything, because she can't say, oh, men are more likely to do this, and men are more likely to do that, or women are more likely to do that. She basically says, oh, well, it's all the same. Women can do this and men can do this. So her words have no substance. Cause,
yeah.
I
knew that before I picked up this book, literally.
Yeah, but she did say that love is a verb.
Yeah.
Not a feeling. She didn't say she's not a feeling. She said love is a verb.
She said friendship is a verb as well.
Yeah, so that is... But she didn't expand, so that probably went over people's head anyway.
Probably.
But that is an important, powerful point. But all in all... Oh, wait, you got one more point of view?
Yeah, to be fair, it's the last one. This book ended up being, instead of a feminist author's attempt to understand the male viewpoint, rather she ironically mansplains manhood to us. Ironically. To us, the men. She tells us how we feel, what we think, what we're doing wrong, how to fix ourselves, and how to behave in order to become more appropriate in the eyes of women. It was a manual, instruction manual for behave like this.
But it wasn't even that. If it was, then at least, you know, but it wasn't even that. There was no... I've said it too many times. Useless, rubbish, toilet paper. That's what it should be used for. Except for the fact that I listened to an audiobook, so it wouldn't work. It was terrible. It's terrible.
I don't think it's terrible. First,
would you recommend it?
I'd recommend, yes.
To who?
To feminists. I would like that sort of thing.
Yeah, probably.
They would enjoy that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, she's a feminist. She's a feminist.
No, but I don't mean like the new feminists that go. I don't mean the new one. I mean the old, like her generation of like feminists.
I think all the feminists would like
hilarious. You think so?
No, I think they might read it just to try and understand men, and that wouldn't help them. Yeah. But they think it would.
Yeah,
and it would create more Chinese whispers. Yeah. So this book is harmful.
Literally.
And women were like, maybe I should talk to my boyfriend's balls.
Yeah,
like,
nah, come on.
Are you
can't
mad?
be doing this?
What are you doing?
Literally.
Waste of time. Maybe we should read a book on feminism.
We should definitely do that. We should definitely do that. I find it a very interesting topic, to be fair.
Well, I don't know if it's interesting, but it's
We'll cut that out, don't worry.
Yeah.
So yeah, out of 10.
No, it's rubbish. Zero.
Zero?
It was useless. The book was useless.
Okay, but there's so many books we've read that are useless, but it's like...
No.
What do you mean?
At least a storybook brings you joy, makes you feel something. This was useless. There was not one single piece of advice that I could use.
There was a couple funny jokes. There's a couple funny jokes in there. Surely that's got to get off zero. It's got to get off zero. But it wasn't helpful.
It was rubbish.
It wasn't helpful.
I never want to see it again.
It was ironic. It was funny in its irony, in my opinion anyways. I found it funny because it was just like, the author would say, men do this, and then admit to doing it herself like 20 seconds later. She would say, I know nothing about this, and then conclusively wrap it up 20 seconds later in the same sentence, saying men have it easier. I just said you don't know it. Doesn't matter.
Waste of time, mate.
I found it funny in its irony.
Well, yeah. We don't have a book ready for next week.
But we do have a new set. shiny new set.
Yeah, that we should have introduced. We should have said welcome.
We actually should have.
But yeah, it's a work in progress. So yeah, we're gonna keep it up.